Welcome to a Warcraft Rumble developer update. I'm Justine. I'm joined by my friends.
Hi, I'm Elhora.
Hey there, Jeremy.
It's been a while since we last spoke. We've been hard at work at improving this game and adding a whole bunch of new stuff, including dungeons and new ways to interact with the campaign, which has been expanded even further, that we're really excited to talk about today.
Ding, ding, dingy, ding, ding. Just gonna go from the top.
Jeremy, can you tell me what Warcraft Rumble is?
Absolutely. It's a action strategy game that takes place in the basement of the Hearthstone Tavern. And down there's this mystical arcade machine that's been created by the gnomes of Azeroth. And inside of that arcade machine, it prints out miniature figurines of the heroes and villains of Warcraft. And then those figurines are brought up to the playing board, and then a player can then grab them, drop them on the playfield, and then they get invigorated with this arc-light energy that brings them to life. And then once they've all come alive, they're marching down the field, trying to take over towers, and eventually trying to get to a boss. And each of our bosses in Warcraft Rumble has a different mechanic associated with it. So you may be doing something like dodging a stick of dynamite or trying to avoid a frozen hurricane. But either way, it's fast and frenetic action all over the place. It's really, really fun.
You could be going from dodging dynamite to dodging a dino's might.
You also may have noticed here that we've been saying Warcraft Rumble and not Warcraft Arclight Rumble, and that's for a reason. We've actually ended up changing the name. Turns out that Warcraft Arclight Rumble was a bit of a mouthful.
Smaller name, but big action!
In Warcraft Rumble, we have this concept of families, which are pretty integral to a mini's identity. These families include Alliance, Horde, Undead, Blackrock, and Beast.
Each of the 5 families actually also has leaders associated with it as well, and those leaders are basically like deck archetypes in Warcraft Rumble.
While it still is a massive, overarching experience spanning both continents, we've managed to add more zones to it and more experiences for players to enjoy.
We've recently just added Hinterlands and Darkshore, and there's some really, really fun bosses there. Some of my personal favorites, Gramungus, who actually takes a giant boulder and rolls it down the lane and crushes all the minis in each of the lanes in doing so.
Just you saying Gramungus makes me happy.
I mean, it's what he is. He's Gramungus.
Yeah, he's pretty Gramungus.
That's like a really good name for a firstborn child, I think.
That's great.
Once you've beaten the Warcraft Rumble campaign, that's not actually the end of it. Once you've overcome that challenge, we're going to present to you a brand new challenge on top of that, the Heroic campaign. And this is an opportunity for you to go back and play those levels again, but this time with an increased level of challenge. And once you've overcome the Heroic campaign, you'll actually gain access to some awesome rewards. So it's well worth doing.
If you are looking for a different gameplay experience, Arclight Surge is able to flip the script a little bit on each of those maps that you may have already been familiar with. You can go into a map and all of a sudden your flying units are now 30% faster, but also the enemy's flying units are 30% faster. And how does that change up the gameplay of the game?
Look forward to getting destroyed in dungeons.
Dungeons are these 3-round gauntlets that you can hop into every week. And what you do is you'll play through these different rounds of dungeons, and as you clear these rounds, you'll be able to pick a relic. And what this relic will do is it'll add a new dynamic to your army. That way, kind of no 2 dungeon rounds are necessarily the same, but you'll have like new challenges and new ways that you can kind of apply to your army when you go and progress.
We've also added a new dungeon. We're introducing Nomuragon.
We're not dungeon yet.
Ah!
You've got Mechgineer Thermoplug, who's a leper gnome sitting inside of a giant mech suit. We've also got Crowd Pummeler 960, who's one of my personal favorites in Nomuragon, because he's one of the first bosses that is actually a real big knockback boss. And so he'll do like a 360 spin with his giant kind of boxing gloves and knock all your characters away from him. What if you want to pummel your friends in Warcraft Rumble? We have an awesome PvP mode that is actually really kind of comprised of 3 different pieces. So you've got your map, your tower type, and the final one is mode. Mode basically determines kind of what the affix is for the map. Are your units faster, slower? Do all units start stealthed? There's a lot of different modes that you can kind of play in the games, and it keeps the gameplay fresh because it doesn't focus on a single character meta.
So all of these ways that you can play, not only do they go towards improving your own army, if you're in a guild, you can also contribute through something called War Chest. All of the battles that you do contribute towards a bigger pot for everyone in your guild. Oh, we should talk about old Murkai. If you ever fought him in Westfall, you might have been like, man, this guy's a real pain. Well, now you can be that pain.
Old Murkai's got a passive ability called March of the Murlocs that allows every time you spawn Old Murkai, 2 Murlocs will also spawn at your base and start marching up the lanes towards the boss. So it really incentivizes you wanting to play Old Murkai over and over and over again so that you have a literal wave of Murlocs crushing your enemies. It's really fun to just see how many of those little juicy guys you can get out there on the field.
We haven't talked about talents.
Talents are a way to just like change up how the gameplay of your individual units works. In the past beta, we've only had a certain subset of talents, but recently we've been adding so many more to the game to the point where now all 65 plus of our collectible characters actually have 3 talents apiece. And those talents do something to basically augment the gameplay experience of using those characters. Justine, do you have a favorite talent?
I am a huge fan of Angry Chicken Sacrifice.
All hail Snacrifice.
Sacrifice! Sacrifice!
Thank you so much for your patience while we continue to cook, while we continue to craft this bun that is still in the oven. The bun needs time, it is rising, it is growing. We are eagerly watching it, pressed up against the oven glass. So thank you so much for your patience for this. We really want to release it when it's ready. We want to make sure that this is an experience that you will enjoy and it's a quality experience as well.
That's about all that we have for today. If you're looking forward to rumbling with us, the game is ready for pre-registration, so be sure to stay tuned for more information. See you soon.